Welcome to the Dive in the Fire podcast. I'm Kiana. Hey. All right, let's just get right into why did I decide to call this podcast Dive in the Fire? Well, one night it hit me the other day. I was like, you know what? A common misconception in the spiritual world, or that other people have about the spiritual world, maybe, is that it's just rainbows and butterflies or like toxic positivity, just like, No, it's about facing your shadows. It's about witnessing and learning to love the parts of us that we were ashamed of and looking at our shadows, learning to love these aspects of ourselves that most people don't even want to admit are there. You shove it down. You don't look at it because it's hard to look at. It's uncomfortable to look at. So, yeah, it's about coming back to yourself. It's about diving in the fire. If you see me looking at my phone, it's because I anytime I have like a thought about the podcast, I just like jot it down. And I had something else I wanted to look at too. I was on a walk earlier today and I was like, why is the name of this Dive in the Fire? Which, oh my gosh, by the way, I need to make a whole episode. So this whole process of creating a podcast, oops, I just moved the microphone, which, by the way, first episode, so if the volume isn't good, or if something about like the camera quality isn't good, or if anything could be improved, please let me know as the listener, as the watcher, because I do have, obviously this is on podcast platforms, but I also have the video on YouTube, so just in case you prefer to watch, because I know I prefer to watch sometimes, so just let me know if I should tweak anything. Okay, so why is this the name of the podcast? Because it's what you need to reach ultimate fulfillment, diving into the fire. To actually, and listen to this, to actually create the life you desire, you need to dive in the fire. Okay, we love a rhyme. Okay, so why do you need to dive in the fire to create the life you desire? Because how can you create what you want if you don't actually know what you want? You have to get to know yourself, learn to understand and accept the parts of you that you've been ashamed of because they deserve love too. So, until you learn to unconditionally love all of you, you'll keep creating cycles of feeling unloved or not good enough. You'll see this repeated in different jobs, people, situations, circumstances. You'll go from one thing to the next thinking that things will be different, but they won't. Until you change what's happening inside of you, the concept of your 3D reality, what's going on out there, is going to be the same. It's not going to change until you do. It's not going to change until you dive in the fire. And we'll get more into like that kind of stuff in other episodes, but I just wanted to say in this first episode here where Dive in the Fire came from. So, I don't know what this episode's going to be called yet, but when I was like, okay, what should this first episode be about? The word bliss came to mind. So I was like, okay, cool. I never use that word, but we love bliss, a state of contentment, happiness, peace, joy. All my freaking favorite things. We love that. So I wrote down a bunch of questions to ask myself. Essentially, like, I wanted a framework kind of to guide me. I'm at least trying that out because sometimes when I'm talking about these kinds of things, I will like talk, and then I'll immediately forget like everything I said. Like I'm like, where even was I? Where was I going with this? Like the train of thought just completely stops. I'm like, where am I? So I'm trying to give myself a little framework here to stay guided, and then obviously like whatever comes up will come up. This is the masculine container so that I can let my feminine flow free, if that makes sense. So let's try this out. Okay, so first question I'm asking myself is bliss. How do we achieve it? How do we feel it? Well, by choosing to. That's what just came to me. By choosing to. By declaring that you want to. Because the mind really is wired to think negatively. And I mean, a lot of us, our autopilot are just neural pathways that we have, the thoughts that we just have on autopilot are ones of like, oh my God, can you guys hear me swallow? Is this microphone like so... And my stomach just rumbled. Did you hear that? Okay, we'll figure it out. We'll see. Just let me know. So it's easy when we have things in our life that aren't looking the way that we want them to look. It's easy, and the way that our brain typically goes in autopilot is to blame the circumstance, be annoyed at it, and wait and wish and hope for something, someone to come in and make things better. I just realized I'm looking at myself, not the camera, so sorry about that. All right. Yeah, just complaining, wishing that things were different, and just staying in that complaining, staying in that wishing, waiting, hoping for something outside of you to come and make things better. By the way, I'm also speaking from personal experience, of course, and if you do this as well, there's no need to shame yourself, because these neural pathways, they're thick, they're deep, they're strong, they're big. I don't know the right adjective to use there, but like, let me also just give a little, I guess analogy is what you would call this. I don't know what you would call this, but I want to talk about neural pathways for a sec. So picture a snowy hill. You know how, like, if someone is sledding down this snowy hill, if people just keep going down that same spot over and over and over again, it's gonna have like a, what's the word, like indentation. Like, it's gonna be easy to slide down it because so many people have already done it. The track, is that the right word? The track is already there, so it's easy to go down. Now, if you were to go like next to it and start a new track to sled down, that's going to be harder. It's going to take more effort and repetition to get it to that same like depth as the other one, and make it easier to go down. Does this make sense? I'm sure there's a better way to explain this, but this is my first time explaining this out loud. So, all right, moving on. So, our brain doesn't care about the thoughts that we want to have, the beliefs we want to have, the reality we want to create. It doesn't care. It cares about efficiency. So if we have one neural pathway, for example, the neural pathway of, making money has to be hard. Making money is so hard. I have to work so hard to make money. If that's the neural pathway that runs so deep, that sled that everyone's been going down in our head, that neural pathway, that sled, our brain is going to keep going down that one because it's the easiest one to go down. So we have to now consciously become aware of when we're going down that neural pathway that we don't want to have anymore, that belief that we're trying to shift, we're trying to change. Something I've been doing, I can share with you, to get myself off that neural pathway, off that path. When I noticed myself, I just did this today actually, I noticed myself going down a neural pathway of doubting myself in a certain thing. So I was like, okay, before I try to I can't talk my way out of this. I have to get out of this energy. I have to get off this ride, get me off this neural pathway. So how do you do that? Distract your mind. So what did I do? My favorite thing is to spell words backwards. Also, I don't know if distract your mind was the right way to say that, but getting off that neural pathway, basically putting my focus on something else. Spelling words backwards, I love to do. Not easy words like dog, but harder words like, I don't know, dinosaur or something like that. Words that actually take effort. And then another one I like to do too is going A through Z, naming something of a different topic, like celebrities. So for example, A, Ariana Grande, Bob Saget, Carrie Underwood, the list goes on. You get it. Going A through Z. And by then, I'm good. I'm off that neural pathway. Something else you could do too, those you can do sitting down. But if you're able to move, even just getting out of that room, switching up the energy would be good. Obviously, moving your body would be good. Physically moving that energy out of you would be great. EFT tapping. I love EFT tapping. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably see me talk about that on my stories. I love EFT tapping. So, yes, choosing to get off that neural pathway and then bringing in the belief that we would rather believe. So what I love to do too is have a pep talk with myself in the mirror. It really helps me to actually see myself, talk to myself. I like to embody either the future version of me who has the beliefs that I want to have, or my higher self, or just embodying best friend energy and just really hyping myself up and really, just giving myself a pep talk. And however you want to feel, if we're on this making money is hard example, if I wanted to believe that making money can be easy, can be effortless, abundance can come to me at any time, then what's more helpful than just an affirmation? I'll tell you, because the thing with affirmations is like, okay, so what if I say, making money is easy? Well, our conscious mind and our subconscious mind do not speak the same language. So if consciously I'm saying, making money is easy, my subconscious mind is like, no, it isn't. Like, what are you talking about? It immediately just rejects it. It's like, no, it doesn't take that in. It doesn't soak that in. It's not doing anything to the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is who we're trying to talk to, because our subconscious mind rules 95% of our life. So basically the whole freaking thing. We are manifesting from our subconscious mind, not our conscious thoughts that only make up 5%. Okay? So what you can do with these affirmations is attach them to a memory. So maybe I have a memory of a time that making money was easy. Let me think of something. Oh, at work the other day, I won a raffle. I just won $50 for just, existing pretty much. So it was a complete shock. It was a complete surprise. I just got $50. I was like, oh my gosh, cool. So what I can do is think about that memory, but not just like consciously just say, oh yeah, the other day at work, I made $50. That was cool. Okay. No, like feel it. Feel that abundance. Like, oh my goodness, I just out of nowhere, I got an extra $50, and like truly sit with that feeling for like a minute and feel that in your body. So bringing that affirmation with that emotion is the secret sauce that we need. Now I'm trying to remember why I went down this whole rabbit path? Wait, what's the word? Rabbit trail? Rabbit hole? But I don't think this was going down a rabbit hole. I don't know if I'm using that word correctly. Anyway, oh yeah, I was saying, how do we achieve bliss? By choosing to feel it. Choosing. Okay, yeah, so this was just like a side tangent so we can understand neural pathways and all of those things. So it's choosing to not feel like a victim of your circumstances. Okay. I get it. I mean, last month I had this like awakening to how I was being a victim of my circumstances, how I was giving my power away by waiting for someone or something to come in and change things for me, just waiting around for that. And then I woke up and I was like, what am I doing? Like, I have the power actually to change this. I don't need to wait for anyone. I don't need to. No, I can take action. I got this. It's choosing empowerment over defeat. It becomes easier once you get to a point of just being over yourself. I was just over the victim mentality. And because why would I choose to stay in this powerless mindset and be upset by certain things that I literally have the power to change? I have the power to start taking action steps, make things better the way I want them to be day by day. I have that power. And I think that is where this bliss comes in for me. So this past month of past couple weeks, I don't really know the time frame, of really feeling like my own superhero and like I don't need anyone else has felt very empowering for me. And sometimes, we can kind of want to have control over things and be like, okay, I will be okay. I will be blissful. I will be content as long as my outside circumstances look like this. But that's not true bliss and happiness, because then you're always going to be waiting for the other shoe to drop. You're always going to be like on edge because you need your reality to look a certain way in order to feel okay. But that's not true power, because you are putting your happiness, your peace, your safety on things outside of you. And guess what? We can lose those things at any time. I'm telling you, I've been, where am I going with this? What was I about to say? I don't know. But I know, maybe that's hard to hear because it's like, but Kiana, like I need to have a job to know that I have a roof over my head, to know that everything is okay and that kind of thing. And trust me, I so get that. I have been laid off out of nowhere when I was pretty much the sole rent provider of that apartment. So I get it. I get the stress. But the thing is, if you want to feel true safety, The safety shouldn't lie in the job. The safety should lie in knowing that you got this. No matter what happens in your external reality, you got this. Because who knows, what if one day something happens and you lose all your money. Something happens, you lose your job. Something happens outside of you, and if that was what you were clinging on to for your feeling of safety, that's gone, boom, poof, your feeling of safety is gone too. But if your feeling of safety lies within yourself and knowing that you can trust yourself and knowing that you are so resilient and you can handle anything, then you'll never lose that feeling of safety because you know you got this. And I'm telling you, you guys, I've had the most money in my savings account that I've ever had. Let's just stick with that. You would think that, like, okay, for a moment, yes, temporarily, I had that high of being like, oh my gosh, I'm good, I got this, like, I finally have all this money of going from, like, having literally nothing, like, negative in my bank account, whatever, to having this money. I was like, oh my god, yes, and it gave me this temporary high. Then my money beliefs hadn't changed at that point in time that I'm talking about. I still had these scarcity money beliefs that were going wild. So it doesn't matter how much money you have in your bank account if your beliefs are still the same. Does that make sense? I still had the beliefs of like, oh my gosh, I could lose this at any time. Oh my gosh, how do you make more money and keep your money and grow your money? How do you do this? I had all these like crazy money beliefs that I'm still working through. I feel like money is like a deep one for a lot of us, right? There's like so many layers to this thing. Working on improving your relationship with money. So all that to say that I heard people say this before. I heard my teachers say before, you know, I got to that point of having the most money I've ever had and still I had those money beliefs with me. I've heard it and I've lived it. So I'm telling you, like, you would think, I mean, I know our safety is so like tied to money, obviously, because like we need money to live, of course. Like I so get that. And I know this is so hard to like truly feel safety in yourself. But it's a process, it's a journey, and I'm starting it. And I think it's definitely something that builds over time. I mean, think of like any relationship, because essentially this is like a relationship with like trusting yourself, right? Trusting that you can handle anything, trusting that you got this. Think about meeting a new friend and how it takes time for a friendship to build and everything, or a romantic relationship. Like it takes time for this trust to build. So just keep showing yourself every day by little actions that you can trust yourself. You know, what's like an example of trusting yourself? Maybe like you have a goal of stretching every day or something, and then you stay consistent with stretching every day, and you can show yourself that you could trust yourself. Or maybe show yourself you could trust yourself with like being kind to yourself. I don't know. I can't think of any good examples right now for some reason. But essentially, it takes time to build this trust. Yeah, so it's not like an overnight fix or anything. Safety, of course, takes a long time to build. I'm still working on this. This is like one of the biggest things in my life that I'm working on, is feeling safety within myself, truly, just feeling safety. Okay, here's why I'm glad I wrote questions, because I don't even know what sparked everything that I just said. I don't even really know what I just said, so I don't really know what to say next. But good thing I have a question to prompt me. Okay, I said, why is this the goal? Why do we want to live a blissful life? Well, why wouldn't we? Okay, something actually that me and my friends used to talk about a lot is that this kind of goes with what I was just talking about. So maybe something that is stopping you from living a blissful life is because, I know this is a belief for a lot of us, and it comes up for me too, of course, is when things get good, it might not really feel all that safe to your nervous system. Okay? Because it's a new feeling. So this is something new. Subconscious is like, what's this? Because subconscious loves the familiar, okay? Subconscious's number one goal is for you to be safe. And what's safe? What is familiar? So if you're like used to this like misery or victimhood or whatever, and now you're all of a sudden starting to feel good, subconscious is gonna be like, what are we doing? What is this? What's this? What are these new things that are coming in? These feelings that we're keeping, like, this is no. And it's going to try and like bring you down back to like your normal state that it's used to. And so also we can also have this feeling of like the other shoe is going to drop, like, oh, something's going to come in and ruin this and make me not feel good again and blah, blah, blah. So that might be a reason that you're like, I don't really know about this. So I actually had this come up like a week ago, maybe. Things were looking good in my life. I was feeling good because I was in this state of everything I've been talking about showing up, taking the inspired action, like actually showing up for myself, not waiting for anyone or anything outside of me, which, by the way, is also making me feel very magnetic as well. And yeah, things externally were looking good too. And so then I was like, all right, so when our thing is going to go downhill? And I was like not feeling very grounded too. And then that sparked everything that I just said, like, oh, maybe because my subconscious doesn't feel safe with this and blah, blah, blah. So then I really started prioritizing regulating my nervous system, like showing subconscious, we're good here. Like, we're good with things being good. So making sure that I'm going outside, making sure I'm playing, and like things are fine. We can be grounded. We can be okay. So this is still like a work in progress. But yeah, so why would you want to live a blissful life? Well, I don't know why I wrote this question, because I'm just like, well, why wouldn't you? Well, I guess with everything I just said. Okay. But then it all just goes back to, say your circumstances did all come quote unquote crashing down. Well, this is actually a whole thing. I need to make a whole podcast episode on this topic, because this topic has changed my life. And this topic also has brought me so much more peace. I still want more peace. I very much value peace, okay? And something that I've learned about is how everything in this world has positives and negatives, okay? Qualities about yourself that you may view as negative also have positive traits. Like, for example, procrastination has always been viewed as like this negative thing. Well, I procrastinate, but here's the thing. Okay, listen. On Fridays, we have this meeting at work where we go over certain tasks that we were supposed to get done that week. So throughout the week, I'm like, oh, I need to do these tasks. Okay. And then Friday comes and I'm like, our meeting is today and I need to make sure that I'm able to say I got these done. And I fly through them. Like, when it gets to the last second of something, I'm like, boom, 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 boom. Like, it lights a fire under my butt. I am ready to go. Okay. So there's positives and negatives to our qualities. There's positives and negatives to circumstances. Like, remember I said I got laid off? Well, you would think that's just negative, right? But it also has some positives, okay? Because it's making room for a better job to come in. And in my life specifically, it brought big changes, which we don't need to get into that today. Maybe that'll be in a future episode, but that could be a positive of getting laid off. Maybe you are in that job and you knew you didn't like the job, but it was comfortable and you didn't want to leave. So universe said, bye, we're kicking you out of this job. You get laid off. Now you have to leave. Now you have to go start building your business or whatever it is, whatever job that you would rather have. So see, there are positives and negatives to things. And why am I talking about this? Oh gosh, I don't remember why I brought this up. Hold on. Okay, I don't really remember why I brought this up, but I think where I was going with that is showing yourself that you can handle things. I don't know. Oh, okay, I was saying even if everything did change in your external reality, and then I said, which could be a good thing. Okay, if you have this trust in yourself, then you'll know that you can figure it out. You can get things looking the way you want them to look. You're not feeling powerless. You're not feeling like a victim to your circumstances, like, oh, why me? Which, by the way, this is a good point, let me say. This is not about toxic positivity. This is not about being like, let's say something happens to you and you're actually so sad about it, like losing your job. Let's say you actually are sad. Maybe you love your coworkers so much, and even though you didn't want to be at that job anymore, you're going to miss your coworkers. So you're genuinely sad. This is not about shoving those feelings away and being like, no, I shouldn't be sad because this is actually good because of this. No. We're not spiritually bypassing toxic positivitying this. Feel those feelings. Yes, absolutely. Dive in the fire. See, this is what I mean. Like, dive in the fire. Feel those feelings. Let those feelings move through you, okay? These emotions, they're meant to move through us. The energy and motion, they're meant to move through us. If we just let them be seen, let them be expressed, they'll move through us. It's when we try to shove them down that they get stuck in there, and then we keep just shoving down until it all just eventually boils over. So this is not about toxic positivity. Feel your sad feelings. Yes. The key is don't stay in that. Don't stay in that sadness and stay in that powerless feeling. Not that sadness is a powerless feeling, but I mean, don't get sucked into feeling powerless. Feel your sad feelings and then remind yourself that you can handle anything. Okay? Okay. Ooh, this is interesting. I wrote, what gets in the way of living a blissful life? Okay. What's coming to mind is, with social media being so big and everything, obviously. It can be easy if we're scrolling a lot on social media. It can be very easy to be sucked into everyone else's feelings, seeing that content. Like if people are like mad about something, sad about something, whatever, like all these people's feelings, opinions are just everywhere. And if they're not something that you want to align with, something that you want to feel, first of all, maybe this is a sign for someone. Maybe do like a clearing out of who you're following. I did that like a couple years ago or something, and that was really great. Cleaning up your social media a bit, but even still, just being mindful of outside forces. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say there. Ooh, I said, how can you start living a more blissful life today? And then I told myself to read my phone note. So I took notes, as I said before. So let me see, what did I want to read? Okay, so something I said, this change doesn't happen overnight. You don't go from seeing your external circumstances as a burden to being so grateful for them and loving them overnight. So start with the smaller things that are bothering you, okay? Not, if the most daunting thing for you is that you don't like the job you're in, don't try to immediately start being like, okay, well, how can I love this? How is this actually perfect? What are the positives in this circumstance? Don't start with like the big things. Maybe start with something smaller. Like if there's someone that annoys you a little bit, why is that perfect? What are they teaching you? Because actually, if something annoys you in someone, hate to break it to you, it is only annoying you because you have it in yourself. I hate that I just said that. I need to be okay with like triggering people is something that I've been telling myself before this podcast. Yeah, if someone's doing something and it's annoying you, you are doing the same thing. Maybe not in the same exact way, but there's like a similar thing going on with you. Otherwise, it wouldn't be annoying you that they're doing it. Okay, sorry about that. Sorry to break that to you. That's kind of like if you're judging someone for something, you're judging yourself for that. If someone's judging you for something, they're judging themselves out. They're judging themselves. I was thinking in my head, people kind of call themselves out when they judge someone for something. Like anytime I see someone judge someone about something, I'm like, oh, okay, so you do that and you judge yourself about it. Okay, so yeah, I said start with the smaller things. Why is it perfect that this is happening? What is it showing you? Yeah, okay, I want to do a whole episode too, like I said, about going into like seeing how everything has positives and negatives to it. I want to talk a lot about like our perceived obstacles, like what we're perceiving as these challenges and these obstacles and everything are actually exactly what we need to bring us closer to what we're desiring. We're not going to get into that today though, because that's like a whole thing. But yeah. Okay, what skills can you take away from this? So like if you do have a coworker that does annoy you, maybe this is helping you to practice patience. So yeah, remembering to look at life through the lens of empowerment, not submission, defeat. You're not a powerless victim to your circumstances. Start to prove to yourself that you can handle challenges. You don't need anything or anyone to come save you. You have what it takes to change your mindset and take inspired action. So once you start to show yourself that you can handle challenges that life presents you, you won't feel the strong need to have a tight grip on everything and try to control it. You'll trust that you can handle anything that comes your way. You wouldn't be handed a challenge that you weren't ready to learn from. Believe in yourself, believe in even the possibility to experience bliss, but actually don't just believe it, know it. There's a difference between believing something and knowing something. I don't believe that I have two cats. I know that I have two cats. Shout out Callie and Zoe, okay? So know that this feeling of empowerment and peace and bliss is possible for you. Don't just think it, hope it, wish it, know it. Okay. So how does it impact the world if everyone lived this way, feeling like an empowered queen or king, feeling like you can handle anything that comes your way and you are your source of safety. Well, obviously this would create happier people, more grounded people. And what happens when we're not living in fight or flight anymore, when we're actually grounded and have a calmer nervous system, we have more blood in our brain, because when we're in fight or flight, our blood rushes to like our legs so that we can run fast because it thinks that a tiger is chasing us. So obviously our brain cannot think very well when all the blood has rushed away from it. So when we're grounded again and our nervous system is calm again, the brain goes back to our blood. Nope. The blood goes back to our brain and we're able to be more creative. We're able to do the things that we were born to create in this world. Now, it's beautiful to have the goal of having a huge impact on the world and like having a whole bunch of people in the world feel this way, feel this bliss, feel this empowerment. And remember, change starts with you. So start with yourself. Start with you becoming or deciding to become more powerful, more empowered. Be the example for people. Once you start to embody this and people see the way you're living, they see the way you're thinking, they see the way you're moving, you're an example for them. You're showing them what's possible and they're gonna pick up on it. They're gonna pick up, even if you're not sitting down teaching a course on how to do this, they're still learning from you. Just by you living your life, just by you being you, they're learning from it. Isn't that beautiful? All right, let me see if I have any final words here. Okay, so something that you can start to think about is, what is an area of your life where you are feeling like powerless to your circumstances? Reflect on that. What can you start to do to feel more empowered and start to make some sort of changes in your life? Honestly, just setting the intention to be empowered is so powerful. Empowered, powerful. It really is so powerful. Like truly meaning it, setting that intention and truly meaning it every day, setting the intention that you're just an empowered queen or king. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening. Let me know either in the comments of this video if you're watching on YouTube, or send me a DM on Instagram. I'll have my Instagram linked in the show notes and in the YouTube description. Let me know what your thoughts on this episode. If anything resonated with you, I would love to hear about it. Also, let me know, video watchers and people hearing it too, audio people. Let me know if you have any notes on if you wish that anything would be like tweaked or whatever. Let me know. And yeah. All right. Thank you guys. See you in the next one. Bye.